I'm muted. Sorry. I'm muted. My bad. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How are y'all? How are y'all doing? How is everybody? How was y'all's Sunday? How was y'all's weekend? Hope you guys had a lovely weekend. Here in the great state of Texas, it's been beautiful all this weekend. Just right weather. You can take your loved ones to the park. You can do all kinds of activities outside. I mean, it's just beautiful, beautiful weather here in East Texas right now. We had some rain and so forth earlier this week. Just a little bit, wind storms, I should say. What's so bad about it, I had my car washed and it was a big windstorm. But after that, this weekend has been very, very beautiful. So, and I hear up north, you guys have had snow. I've heard people have all sorts of bad weather up in California, a lot of rain. But here in Texas, it's been beautiful. I mean, beautiful, beautiful weather. But nevertheless, I hope everybody has had a productive, great weekend. I know here spring break will be over starting tomorrow morning. And my kiddo is starting back to school. Some of you guys, y'all's kiddos or the kiddos where y'all are from, they're starting their spring break tomorrow. But here in Texas, they start back tomorrow. They go back to school tomorrow. Some people in the other states, some cities, man. Here in Texas, they start spring break tomorrow. So it just depends on where you're at. So, but anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to the SBK channel. Man, I mean, look, I talk about all this weather and stuff. I have not been off at all. The boy's been on the grind. The boy's not going to be off work until Thursday. So your boy's been on the grind, man. Been grinding. So, but yeah, we got an open panel tonight, man. We're going to be talking about some things. We're going to be talking about some stuff. Let me salute the chat before I go any further. Got my boy, the Drip King, Young Riaz. Salute to you, bro. A day one supporter. Salute to you. Salute. Thank you for coming out, Young Riaz. We got the lovely Gisela. Hey, Gisela. A little bro, Lionel's. I'm never late. And you already know what time it is. You heard what he said. You definitely know who be making him late. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. And we got the lovely Thrive and Glow with Joe. Hey, bestie. And you heard what she says. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, share, and subscribe. You heard what she said. We got the algorithm. The algorithm. Just Jay is in the building. Hey, Just Jay. Hey. We got Miss Lisa J. Stocks. Oh, sorry. Lisa J. Stocks. You don't want me to call her Miss. We got Lisa J. Stocks in the building. Thank you for coming through. Y'all go subscribe to Lisa J. Stocks. She's got some great information, financial tips that will help each and every one of you guys. You know what I mean? I tune in and I get all sorts of tips. If I have questions about something, I'll ask the bestie. I'm like, what does she mean by that? And she has to break it down. You know what I'm saying? I love her channel. Y'all go and subscribe to Lisa J. Stocks. If you're a moderator, everybody who has channels, y'all drop your channels. You know what I'm saying? Got the big bro, Jimbo. What's up, fam? We got Ragamuffin Vision. How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Thank you. Hope you subscribe to the channel. You're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. We got the one, and only the very best artwork in YouTube and out there, T-Cat Commission Vision Diva. She is the Pillow Princess, aka Pillow Princess. She is the best artwork out there. Salute to the great Ro. Thank you for coming through, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you're doing well. Hope y'all smash the like button, man. If y'all coming through, smash up the likes, as my boy Willie D says. So, but yeah, let me give y'all some people to follow before I start getting into the topics. All right. Again, I want to say you guys go and subscribe to T-Cat Commission Vision Diva. As you can see, let y'all check me out. Look at this wonderful artwork that I have up here. It is all because of T-Cat. You know what I mean? So if you are a content creator, if you're someone that wants to spice up your channel, if you need some introductions to your channel, look no further than the great T-Cat Commission Vision Diva. She's the very best. So you guys go and subscribe to her. Go and hit her up. When you go and you subscribe to her channel is going to have her email information. Email her and she will hook you up. I know my brother, he is a pastor. He cannot wait to use her for his church. You know what I mean? So he was just telling me about how he's excited about using her, the images of his church. And so it is going to be, I'm so proud of her. So you guys go hit her. Hey, DR. Hey, we got the lovely DR in the building. Shout out to DR. The Bay Area Princess is in the house. Go and subscribe to the Best Eat, Thrive, and Glow with Joe. She has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful channel. If you're looking for motivation to work out, if you're looking for just complete motivation, you don't have to even be about working out. If I guarantee you, you'll learn something and you will come away being motivated. So you guys go and subscribe to Thrive and Glow with Joe. Go and subscribe to my sis. What's going on, CKJ? Hey man, I want to say appreciate him for giving me a shout out. He's always supportive in the comment sections whenever we drop I drop videos, whether it's with Tap In Podcast, with my sis, it's just ETV. Thank you for your support, brother. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words that you put in the comment section. It makes a brother like myself feel like I should keep going and doing things different. You know what I'm saying? In a world where everybody wants to go at one path, I'm one of those guys. I'm gonna go my own way. You know what I mean? So I appreciate your kind words and your words of encouragement. Thank you. Go and subscribe to our podcast, the Tap In Podcast, with myself, SBK, and with my big sis, it's just ETV. We go live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern. Every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. So you guys go and we had a very great live this past Friday night. It was lit. You know what I'm saying? So you guys go and we were talking about everything. We talked. I'm looking up before I got here. I was looking at the playback and it was lit. You know what I mean? If you missed it, you guys need to go back and check it out. Okay, so that was you guys missed it. You guys need to go check it out. You know what I mean? Let me take this off. Enough of that. Yeah. Anyway, so I think I got all that. Yeah, go subscribe to my sis. It's just ETV. She has a channel. Go subscribe to her. Go subscribe to little bro Lionel Suggs. He's in the building. So go subscribe to him as well. You know what I mean? All right, man. Let me turn this music down just a little bit so you guys can hear me. Just a little bit. All right, I'm going to drop the link in a few minutes and we can talk about whatever, man. I'm going to drop the link, but let me get through what I want to talk about. And I'm going to put it out there, and then I want you guys to respond. I got some videos and stuff queued up. My first thing I want to talk about is I've seen a lot of content creators talk about different things. Of course, I've heard content creators talk about politics. They talk about, Charleston White right now is in the headlines right now for him being snitching and all that, his rhetoric and everything. LeBron James and Bronny James and Stephen A. Smith, we've heard all that. But I haven't seen any content creators like myself that have brought out this subject. Now, I've seen content creators on YouTube talk about this, what I'm about to talk about, but they have a huge following. You know what I mean? Some of the content creators I'm talking about, they have huge followings, millions upon millions of followers. You know what I mean? They're talking about it. But other content creators are all about BS, and I really want the SBK channel to bring this to light and talk about it. Talk about this right here about Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. But without further ado, what I'm gonna do is I want to play a video. Let me put this banner up so everybody would know that we'll put this copyright thing here. Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is a right-wing analyst, a right-wing commentator who has sounded the bullhorn, so to speak, the last week or so about petitioning to Donald Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin. All right. Derek Chauvin is the police officer that put his knee on George Floyd's neck and henceforth was convicted, I think, about 22 years in prison. And he got 20 some odd years federal, 20 some odd years state. Those sentences have ran concurrent. But we got Ben Shapiro. Like I said, he's a right wing, alt-right, guy. He has basically sounded the bullhorn to petition to Donald Trump. He's already got it out to let George Floyd's killer, Derek Chauvin, to be free. So without further ado, I want to present this to you guys, and I want you guys to look at it in Ben Shapiro's own words. Okay, so let me find that, and here we go.
One person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin. President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. He should pardon him his federal charges. If we are talking about reversing the evils of the last several years in American life, obviously COVID and its handling was a massive evil. Destroyed the economy, set us on a path to fiscal insanity, destroyed children, led to massive health-related cover-ups, just horrifying all the way around. And President Trump has taken on a lot of those things. But when it came to BLM, the inciting event for the BLM riots that caused $2 billion in property damage in the United States and set America's race relations on their worst footing in my lifetime, was in fact the railroading of Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd. The evidence demonstrates that Derek Chauvin did not in fact commit murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was high on... He had a significant pre-existing heart condition. George Floyd was saying he could not breathe before he was even out of the car. He was in the car saying he could not breathe. Derek Chauvin, for a large segment of even the tape that was shown, had his knee on George Floyd's shoulder or back, not on his neck. The autopsy of George Floyd showed that he had no damage to his trachea. that probably George Floyd died of excited delirium. There were no accusations, even at trial, that Derek Chauvin had committed a hate crime against George Floyd or that he targeted George Floyd because of his race. Nonetheless, on the basis of extraordinarily scanty evidence, and despite the fact that there was massive pressure on the jury, that the mayor of Minneapolis paid a settlement to the George Floyd family immediately, that the president of the United States suggested that Derek Chauvin was guilty right off the bat, that the jurors were being openly threatened and admitted as much. Despite all of that, Derek Chauvin was convicted on federal charges and pled guilty to federal charges. Derek Chauvin should, in fact, be pardoned on that. We will be covering that a lot more in coming weeks because I think it is worthwhile to remember that there is a man who is rotting in prison because the media decided in the middle of 2020 that they were going to turn a tragic law enforcement stop that ended with the death of a man who had a significant problem with drugs and pre-existing health problems into the raison d'etre of the entire 2020 election. And it led to vast chaos. It led to, again, the destruction of racial comedy in the United States, $2 billion in property damage, and a guy rotting in prison who the evidence demonstrates certainly was not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in that case. If we're going to talk about delivering pardons, President Trump, I think, should really seriously consider pardoning on federal charges. He can't pardon on state charges. Derek Chauvin, who is convicted of the murder of George Floyd. As I say, we will be covering this pretty extensively in the coming weeks. Right now, you should go to pardonderek.com and sign our petition asking President Trump to grant justice to Officer Derek Chauvin.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Ben Shapiro. Who is Ben Shapiro? I'll tell you who Ben Shapiro is. For those of you who don't know, let me share this as well. I shouldn't have closed that out, but I'll tell you exactly who Ben Shapiro is. Ben Shapiro, can y'all see that? Hold on. There he is, 41-year-old Ben Shapiro. He's an American conservative political commentator, media proprietor, and attorney. What's so intriguing to me, he's born in January 15, 1984 in Los Angeles, California, to a conservative Jewish family. Also says here, his parents both worked in Hollywood. His mother was a TV company executive. This is what strikes me right here. Skipping 2 grades, the 3rd and the 9th grade. Shapiro went to Walter Reed Middle School in the Valley, to Yeshiva University High School of Los Angeles in West Side, Los Angeles, where he graduated in the year 2000 at age 16. So he graduated at 16 years old. He studied political science at the University of California, graduating in 2004 at age 20 with a Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, membership in the Phi Beta Kappa. He then attended Harvard Law School. So this dude, very, 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 very well educated. All right. So I'm not trying to discredit his credentials as far as a guy that, I'm not going to say he's stupid. I'm not going to be naive to say that Ben Shapiro's stupid. But I will say this, book-wise, as we say here in the South, I remember my mom and dad used to say all the time, boy, there's a difference between being book smart and having mother wit. Mother wit being common sense, right? I believe that Ben Shapiro has both, and let me explain why. I believe that he's doing this on purpose. Okay, there's a reason why he is doing this. All right, very intelligent guy, but there is a reason for him doing this. I have my reasons. You know what I mean? My reasons might be wrong, right? It might be for gaslighting. It might. Some might say it might cause division. Of course, a majority of people are talking about him causing division. But I believe this man is doing this, and it's for a purpose. He is not a dummy. He is not a guy that just says things for naught. He is a systematic type individual that says things and tries to say things on purpose. You see what I'm saying? So what's going on, little bro? If I miss some people in the chat, some more gorilla salute to you, bro. And I saw Kevin Corcoran. Where you go? Salute to you, my day one, bro. Our attorney, Kevin Corcoran. Salute to you, bro. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'll get back to you. But this dude is not a dummy. All right, that's my whole thing. This dude is not a dummy. I'm gonna drop the link, and I want you guys to. I want your feedback on that. But first of all, before I, drop the link, there's several things that I want to point out. His little commentary about why he wants to have Trump to pardon Chauvin. The basis of his argument is that, hey, George Floyd was on fentanyl. He was on drugs. You know what I mean? Of course, let me show you guys something right here. I actually got I looked it up. I got his the medical examiner's report right here. And I'll show you guys. All right. So we got it right here. All right. You guys see that? So this is from the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office from in Minnesota. George Floyd at the time. You guys can see that? You guys see that? At the time of death, he was 46-year-old man. I'm not going to read all of this, okay? Who became unresponsive while being restrained by law enforcement officers. He received emergency medical care in the field and subsequently in the Hennepin healthcare. So I'm not going to read all of this, but you look and see there's blunt force injuries, cutaneous blunt force injuries on the forehead, face, and upper lip. Basically, when he was held down on the ground, his face was scarred up, and in medical terms, his face was jacked up. Okay. Of course, it says number 2, he had natural diseases, hypertensive heart disease, arteriosclerotic heart disease, left pelvic tumor. I'm not going to read all of these, but I want you guys to look at the toxicology report. There, he did have fentanyl and methamphetamine. Now, some of you guys work in the medical field. This 11-hydroxy, you guys can help me out with that. I don't know what that is. I guess that's hydrocodone, maybe. I'm guessing, but I'm not going to read all of this. Okay, but this is his actual. What I just pulled up. This is his actual report, post-mortem report. Okay. So the facts are he did have drugs in his system, okay? But did you hear what Ben Shapiro said? He said that George Floyd did not die because of Chauvin's knee on his neck. I present to you guys, I want to show you guys something else before we start dropping the link and we talk about it, okay? I want to present to you guys this picture here. That's Derek Chauvin, ladies and gentlemen. What does that look like to y'all? What does that look like to y'all, huh? Is his knee on his neck? His knee's on his neck, right? This is a very well-known picture. In this picture here, there's foam coming out of his mouth, ladies and gentlemen. So Mr. Ben Shapiro is saying that his knee was on his shoulder. It wasn't on his neck. So I'm presenting to you guys, so Ben Shapiro, we just got done listening to him, right? He said it was on his back, said his knee was on his back. And he said it was not on his neck. We all have seen the video, when it first came out. I want to be honest with you guys. Me, I'm a over 280 pound, 6-foot guy. And if I saw this, it literally broke my heart. It broke my heart. Derek Chauvin, and his facial, he wasn't caring about, at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? So did I, Joe. Watched it in real time. So, but Ben Shapiro claims that his knee was not on his neck. All right. Can somebody tell me what alt-right means? It's, he is. If you look at Ben Shapiro's, resume, or if you look him up on Wikipedia, he is described as an alt-right leader. Let me see if I can find that. And he has alt-right. There we go. Can y'all see? Let me see. Hold on. Hold just a second. I don't have it on there. I got it now. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Can y'all see it? Oh, can't see it yet. My bad. Let me take this off. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up. And says, you guys can see it now, right? It says Shapiro is a critic of the alt-right movements, stating in 2017 it is garbage movement composed of garbage ideas. But he supports some alt-right nonsense. So anyways, I just feel like, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a reason for why he is promoting this. I feel like it's not talked about enough. Of course, CNN is going to talk about it. Fox News touches on it. Fox News touches on it. CNN touches on it. They're paid to do that. But I feel like real issues on social media, like little old content creators like myself, I feel like people need to cut the BS. You know what I mean? And people need to talk about real issues that are affecting. Now, I want to drop the link here right now, and you guys, we can talk about it. You know what I mean? And the link is pinned. All right. So my thing is this. Why at such a time as this does this have to be the main focal point of Trump pardoning this guy? Now, Gisela said here, I want to bring this up with what Gisela said. She said, first, let me be clear, I don't support Donald Trump. However, earlier this month, he claimed he isn't considering the pardon. Elon Musk is a big troll. And so what I just played from Ben Shapiro, Elon Musk posted it on X, and his words were something to consider. Elon Musk said that. So I'm not as I've stated 1,000 times, ladies and gentlemen, I am not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent. Okay. I'm a registered independent, and I think freely. I am not going to handcuff myself to any type of party because both parties are sick. Both parties are trash. All right. Both parties they got issues. All right. But you would think that people would call out nonsense. Now, granted, Sean Hannity, he's a big time right winger. He called out Derek Chauvin's behavior. All right. Other right wingers have called out Derek Chauvin's behavior and what he did, his crime, and said that he needed to be locked up. But what I don't get is a lot of right wingers should follow suit. You see what I'm saying? And why aren't they? You know what I mean? Why is this not talked about? So I have the link pinned. I got some guests in the back that have already hit the link. And I'm gonna bring them up. Y'all ready to come up? I'm gonna bring, and anybody else, the link is pinned. Let's talk about it. All right, let's get it cranked up. We got the lovely Joe, and we got my bro Kevin Corporate. What's going on, lady and gents? What's going on?
I can't call it.
Can't
I
call it.
ain't even gonna be up here that long. I just
All
got
right.
a few things to say.
Go ahead, brother. The floor is yours. I appreciate you coming up as always. You fam, man. You been day one. What you got on it?
I listened to everything he said. The other attorney about the Floyd, right? The Floyd incident, right? So you telling me you gonna let a Jewish lawyer dictate that another man didn't kill a black man in real time, had that man on the ground, the whole world saw.
Correct.
So you want this man to be pardoned and just sweep it under the rug like it didn't happen. People not gonna forget that ever happened. So I feel like y'all trying to make him look good, knowing he not. You trying to make an illusion of this like it's a joke, and it's not. Because you got to understand, that man's family still hurting.
Absolutely.
Them kids hurting. They ain't gonna see their daddy no more. So you want to pardon a man for a murder and think, okay, well, we let him lose. We gonna make him look good again. No, it don't work like that. Now, what if we did that to him and his criminal? What do you think gonna happen?
I want you to go ahead. In your. That's a great question. If the shoes was reversed, Kevin, what do you think would happen?
If I did that,
yeah,
I'd be either in jail or dead. That's my only two options I got. So if I do that, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. I won't see my family no more. And I'm going to rot in prison for the rest of my life. So I'm throwing away my life for nothing. All because I killed a white man. So what y'all gonna say? Pardon me? And I know y'all not gonna pardon me because I'm a black man. Because I murdered a white man. I'm just saying. And that's all I really wanted to say.
Hey, Kevin, I really appreciate you coming up. Me, Casa Sukasa, it's always a pleasure to have one of my day one bros from the Gap to come up. You Got anything else you want to add before you step down?
I know this is about to get, very touchy. So, I understand it because it is a real touchy, subject. We are talking about a man's life. So you got to be very subtle with what you say. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very mindful for what you say. And this the last thing I'm going to say. Silverback, man. I appreciate you for what you done because a lot of people ain't really doing what you doing by putting that out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Most people will hide it or would never talk about it. And you one of the bold people, like, fuck it, I'm gonna talk about it. Right or wrong. And, I commend you for that. Because you putting it out for the world to know more about the situation. Because the news ain't gonna let you know. You know the news station ain't gonna let you know about this. It is what it is. And that's all I had to say.
Hey, man, salute to you, bro. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you coming up. You're welcome to come up anytime. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. All right, Joe.
Thank you. Hi.
No problem. Bye-bye.
That's Kevin, man. What's up, Joe? What's up, Bestie?
Hey. Hi, everyone. So I wanted to mention, I was putting it in the chat. First of all, I agree with Gisela. I did see that. So when Ben Shapiro put that out about a day later or 2 days later, of course, Trump was interviewed about it and asked about it. He said that he hadn't seen anything about it. That's the way he always acts up front, though, right? He don't know nothing. Because he probably doesn't. It's probably true. You don't know nothing. And so he stated that he wasn't considering anything. And then I saw that, like you said, Elon Musk got on bandwagon, and he's over here supporting this stupid man. Sorry. Supporting Ben Shapiro on his rhetoric. Here's the deal. I'm with you, though. I know where you're going. I think it's a smokescreen, honestly. And then even more so now when you mentioned, he was brought up by theater actors, whatever, First of all, yeah, it doesn't mean that he's a dum-dum. He's an educated dum-dum. He graduated early. That doesn't mean he had much, just because you've got book smarts doesn't mean you have life smarts, period. And you can have life smarts without having book smarts, right? You don't have to. So he's a dum-dum either way, but I really believe it's a smokescreen. They're doing so much right now behind the scenes with, and just cutting here and cutting there. And we talk about it all day long, every day. A lot of us that you guys know in the chat. And all of that they're doing, I literally believe, things like this that come out trying to incite and get a rise from the American public, especially something so out there. He actually, when he was convicted, he actually went, and Derek Chauvin went, and he pleaded guilty to his federal charges. He pled guilty. So it wasn't that he was convicted. He went back and pled guilty because he wanted a lesser sentence, right? But he still pled guilty. So what are you saying? You're going to pardon him when he said I did it? He did. So either way, he can't be turned over by the state charges. He could pardon him for the federal charges. He does have, the authority to do that as president. but he wouldn't be able to overturn the state charges that would have to happen within the state. But honestly, I think it's like you were alluding to. I think it's a smokescreen. I think everything, we heard recently that Elon Musk wasn't making any money for doing whatever he's doing right now or where he's at, and he's consulting is what they meant to say, not accounting, but he's consulting on the back end. That man is making a lot of money on government contracts that are coming right back to him. And so it's all a smokescreen, in my opinion, why this is coming up. And, because it is a big sore spot for people, the American public, who watched it in real time happen. And that's the key. I don't care what he says, that his knee was not on this and that. Go look at the footage. It's on footage. And that's the only reason I agree with everybody. If the tables were turned, that man would have never made it off the street. If it was you, Bestie, and it was you doing that to someone else of a different color, you would have never made it off that street.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's BS, but everybody saw it in real time, and he can't claim that it was somewhere where we can definitely see it. So that was the only saving grace, in my opinion. So I don't care what anybody says. Why are they always taking out the cameras? And why are they take out the cameras? Call 911. Do whatever you got to do, but take out that camera. Period.
Facts. And let's not forget, DR said it. It wasn't only him; it was the other cops also. It was like 5 other ones.
Yes, and then one trying to block the people with the cameras.
Yeah.
And not doing nothing. And that was a primo. Man, I was cussing him out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he was Hispanic, wasn't he?
Yes.
Hey man, y'all quit being shy and hit the link, man, and chop it up with your boy, man. We're talking about real live topics, you know what I mean? We're not talking about any bull Chris out. You know what I'm saying? If there was anything else, I was up here, spewing off nonsense, but this is something that I know a lot of people, when they look at this, they're like, well, that doesn't happen in my city. Do you realize that if this is even considered, or even Ben Shapiro, that's granted, he's got money, he's a millionaire, but anybody can come up with a petition, all right? Present it to the president. He could pardon him, even though he said something that he wouldn't consider it. But he has the power to do whatever, even though he can't pardon him from a state crime. All right. So, but here's what here's my question, though. Do you think people are going to continue to push this line? Same as Ben Shapiro is trying to push the narrative. It's trying to push this petition through. You think other people are going to pop up and start trying to do the same thing? What do you think about that?
They may, because there's so much hatred in this country. They could get on his bandwagon. I don't put nothing by anyone anymore. Like, there's so much crap.
Right. Let me read some of you guys' statements. You guys hit the link, man. Y'all hit the link.
Who do you mean, Samoan?
He's talking about Trump. I think he's talking about Trump.
Yeah. He lies all the time.
I read that. I'll read it again. Says, first, let me be clear, I don't support Donald Trump. However, earlier this month, he claimed he isn't considering this pardon. Let me start off by saying I'm not a Trump hater. I don't say anything about Trump to disparage his name. I'm just delivering the facts and media. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here to deliver. I want to consider myself as a guy that talks about things that other people, my peers, are not talking about. Okay, and let me be clear on that. Um, as I stated at the beginning of the channel, I want to go my own way. I want to talk about things that matter. I want to talk about things that could affect me or mine. You know what I mean? That hits home. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it. If he was pardoned, then a lot of cops could be pardoned for the very same thing. How many? My question is, how many cops have been pardoned? They pardoned the cops that beat the hell out of Rodney King. You remember that? You know what I mean? They pardoned all those guys. They let him off. You know what I mean? And we all saw the dreaded footage of him. He was beat the hell up. You know what I mean? I mean, a helpless guy just beat him up. So what I'm saying is, we can't have, and it's not just a black man. I'm not just talking about just a black man. I'm just saying human life. Okay, not just a black, but a human life. But as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, the world is not just going to say a human life. The world's going to look at you by your color. Right? That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? DR says, in your lifetime, the atrocities to black people have been happening. And yes, she's talking to an idiot. She's talking to Ben Shapiro. 175 years is what they would have given you. She's referring to what Kevin was talking about. They're quick to condemn anyone that with brown, tan, or other than pasty skin. That's what Jesus said. And can we talk about 47 saying he's not thinking about the pardon, but is it really off ban? That's my question. You know what I mean? He says that, but is it really off the table? You know what I mean?
It's not. I mean, honestly, that's why I was saying it had just been announced a day before, and he was interviewed a day later. He may not have heard it yet. That doesn't mean nothing.
But then there's what Small Gorilla says. He also didn't know anything about Project 2025. You know
exactly. I mean? And he's going down the script.
Right. Oh, I don't believe it. It's just what he said. He'll let him make the call at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. Cool. That's very interesting. But see, here's the thing on that, man. While you got Ben Shapiro, who is a very well-known right-wing guy, I'm wondering who else very famous is going to pop up and talk about doing it. You know what I mean? Talk about pardoning Derek Chauvin.
Back him up.
You know what I mean? I wonder how many people, because when he put out that, Joe, what I saw when he put out that video, a lot of Republicans were backing it. You know what I mean? You guys look it up. A lot of Republicans were backing it. And so, Joe, where were you at when you first saw that video? I want to know your feelings on that as a mother. As you know, he was crying out to his mom and so forth and so on, speaking about George Floyd. I want to know where were you at? I want to know when you saw it, how you felt, what you wanted to do. I want your whole feelings about the whole matter when you saw it in real time at that time a few years back.
I'm getting all these emotions. Y'all, I don't know if anyone knows, but I saw my son. I saw my son because I have sons. Anytime anything happens, I'm calling my sons. And I call them my sons. I have stepsons and my son also. But I've never referred to them as my stepsons. So you guys might not all see, all my sons. But anytime something goes down here in Dallas, downtown, everybody, I'm calling my sons, where are y'all? Because like I say it all the time, it's not being made or aligned for them. And so anyway, that's what I was just yelling at the screen and hollering and cussing and, you know, getting mad and just all kinds of, it was very, very, very emotional, and people were complaining that they were showing it. But I don't see anything wrong with I work in the network, and I know a lot of people from in my time, older people, complain about so much social media, and I thank God I grew up before social media, because I did some things and they're not nowhere on social media, thank God, right? However, the world wasn't the way it is today, and today we need this data, we need this network, and utilize it. It can be used to your advantage, just like that. So take out your phones, take out your, you know, and air it and get on live, because that, I think, is a main difference from the Rodney King days.
Yeah,
it's
social
on
media.
camera.
Yeah.
It's on video. That is a main thing, you know. And yes, a lot of things are being done, but we look like idiots because he's having to, you know, he's got judges making him turn over things that he's doing, because we still do have law. We still have, you know, some kind of democratic system that you have to go by. You know, yes, he's pulling the plug in a lot of places and doing so much rhetoric, but we still have a law that doesn't work all the time, but it's still there for that reason. But I just want, you know, I'm not gonna say who I work, but either way, just take out your phones and use it to your advantage and to everyone else's advantage, even if you don't know the person. You know, I say it all the time, we are stronger together. I don't care. You can't be on an island and do it yourself. You can't, because nobody's going to help you by yourself. And we can do it together, and in my opinion. And this is not spreading rhetoric and just emotional feelings, you know. We have to stand by our, you know, it's not, yes, I understand they're always trying to overturn things, right? But just like you see today, you know, he's being forced to overturn and put people back in jobs that he pulled out, you know. So, and that's what I'm just, I don't want to cuss, but it's just not. I just suggest that you just continue. I know there's a lot of negativity, and I try to keep it positive, because I have to, and I know I may not look like you, you know. I know that that has nothing to do with it. It has to do with I'm in the fight with you. So that's what I wanted to say.
Right. The link is pinned, guys, in the chat. You guys hit the link. Here's what you said, Joe, towards the end there, that about it's not always positive, but this is a negative thing. This is perceived as a negative thing towards, you know, looking at people wanting to pardon whatever. But what I want to do is turn it into a positive by making people aware of what is going on around us. You know what I'm saying? What could happen around us. And I just don't want to, because life is not all about happiness. You know what I mean? It's not all peaches and cream. It's not all a bed of roses. Unfortunately, life has its ups and downs, and life has horrible things in it that happen. It happens to good people. You know what I mean? It hits home a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So we just can't focus on a bed of roses all the time. We got to make people aware that, you know, there is some very, very, excuse my French, but there's some shitty things that happen in this society. You know, how do you react to it? Unfortunately, like I've always said on this platform, Joe, and on other platforms, that unfortunately people tend to focus on BS instead of focusing on things that really matter. You know what I mean? Focusing on things. Go ahead.
That's where those smoke screens come from. I
Right.
think that's why they do this, trying to they try to trigger emotions on the American public because they're out there trying to do things on the back end, you know, and for their own gain, right? You know, and for people to say, oh, they're not getting paid, but they're getting paid, you know, by the contracts that are being gained, that you know, everything one of the guys told me just this week, follow the money. That's all you have to do.
Right.
Follow the money, and you know why it's happening. That's all you have to do. And he's completely right, you know, but they go to something that is so triggered, so emotionally triggering to everyone in this nation. Why? You know, there's always a reason for everything.
Correct. Chat is lit. You guys are talking in the chat, man. I'm gonna keep dropping this link, man. Yeah, we already been at an hour, Joe. Seems like we do. I'm gonna play a couple commercials, and I got the link dropped, and we'll continue with the subject. And then, you know, I'm not gonna keep you guys long, man. Just a quick live. I wanted people to be aware of this subject, but I got the link pinned. Anybody is welcome to talk. We can talk about whatever. I'm just wanting to talk about this or whatnot. But when we come back, Joe, I wanted to ask you a question. This is going to be our subject, but I want you and I talk behind the scenes. Of course, we talk about our shows. We talk about, you know, how to make each other better as far as content creation and stuff. I always talk to you about how we did on shows and stuff like that. Now, it's going to be our subject, but I'm not going to tell you. You don't even know what the question I'm going to ask, but I know you're going to answer it correctly. So I know you're going to answer it, and you're going to be, you know. So we're going to have some commercial breaks, a couple commercials. I want to say shout out to the great T-Cat, the great Ro. Shout out to you, Ro. Y'all go subscribe to her. After these messages, we'll be right back. Right back. All right, shout out to the great T-Cat. Go and subscribe to the great T-Cat. And if you have not subscribed to the SBK channel, you need to subscribe, hit the like button, and do the whole 9 yards and the kick caboodle. All right. So go do that. Go do that. We just got done talking about the Derek Chauvin and the George Floyd situation with Ben Shapiro issuing out a petition to pardon Derek Chauvin, and we got the lovely T-Cat in the background. Hey T,
now.
what's going on, love?
How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I am
Hey,
doing
Joe.
You're on mute. You're
I'm on mute.
No.
Joe on mute.
Joe on mute. Speak up, Joe.
How are you doing? I got it.
Hey, JoJo.
Hey. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
What you
I
got?
didn't hear from you earlier today.
I'm sorry. I got into this doggone on the weekends. I try to like refrain from the computer because I be on it all day, all night during the week. And so I had got into this show called Designated Survivor and everything. It had 3 episodes, it had 3 seasons on it and everything. And it had like 20 some episodes to each one of them. So I've been watching it. So I've been like glued into that.
So is it where's this on? What is this
It's
on?
on Netflix.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. What's it called again?
It's called Designated Survivor. It's about like, presidential stuff. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who want to watch it.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm glad you hit the panel because I was going to ask Joe a question and ask you a question.
Okay.
But did you want to add anything before I ask you a question about that? Yeah, about that stuff.
But Derek,
yeah. Did you want to add anything?
I think that it was Ben Shapiro wrong call to want to pardon him because for the simple fact that Derek Chauvin, whatever his name is, their officer, he had a whole bunch of bad reports about him. Everybody seen this on TV, and it was a horror show. I had nightmares about that, But I don't think that he should be pardoned. I think that he should serve his full sentence. I don't even think that he should get parole. Serve all this shit and show a sign with the other officers. If you try to kill one of the citizens or whatever, you will get jailed. You're not above the law.
Right.
Yeah,
you want to set an example. You're saying set an example.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. I'm with that. I'm glad you two ladies are on the panel because I talked to both of you guys behind the scenes. I've known Joe for a long time, and I'm glad both of you. I want both of y'all's perspective. This past Friday night, we were talking about all sorts of stuff about sex and quickies and all that type of stuff, and both of you ladies are celibate. Okay, both of you ladies are celibate. Both of you ladies are you're celibate. And I hope you guys don't mind me telling this, but you guys are proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Until y'all, both of you ladies, do not want to give your bodies away until you find the right mate to marry. Am I right about that? I'm right about that, correct? T-Cat, right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay, all right. So, so both of you guys are celibate, as Joe said. Both of you guys are celibate, and both of you guys are abstaining. All right. So I won't start with you, Rose, since you came up on the panel. I want you to, I kind of know what answer you're going to give, but give me your reasoning for that. Your reasoning for being celibate and being abstaining from sexual activity. Hold on, just a sec. Whoever's in the back chat, give me your. Let me see yourself before you come up. Cam up before. Go ahead, Ro. Go ahead, Ro.
Oh, okay. The reason why I became celibate because I was in a abusive relationship with my last partner. You know, he was abusive mentally and physically. You know, and it really kind of changed me because he brought out an anger in me that I didn't know that I had. Right. Um, he brought out an anger in me so bad that I end up taking, like a bad control of beating on him. Right? I with me, my brother and his girlfriend, we beat him so bad that he was in the hospital. He almost died. I almost killed this man. Right? And after I had got out of jail out of $5,000 bond, because my bond was like $50,000. So after I got out of jail, my auntie came and picked me up. She bummed me out. She picked me up, and we sat in her car for about an hour. She's one of my prayer warriors. Also, Joe is one of my prayer warriors too. So she was she's my prayer warrior. So we sat in her car for about an hour because she's a long prayer. She prayed for you long. So she prayed for me and everything, and then I went to God and everything, and He told me that I just wanted Him to get me out this trouble because I would have lost everything if I would have had to go to jail because I was on a F1 offense, for abuse and on my ex and all that type of stuff. So I just prayed to the Lord, and he sent when God talked to me, He talked to me in my dreams. Sometimes if He talked to me while I'm awake, it's like this cold chill that it brings on. And He told me that like previous years ago, I had prayed for a man, right? And I gave him specific things that I want in a man. And He told me that you getting all these men, you having all this sex with these men and all that type of stuff, and these men not right for you. So you need to get yourself right in order for me to present you with the man that you want. Right? So I had made a promise to the Lord that I would not have sex with another man until He present me the man that I prayed for. And I have not went back ever since. And God had got me out of trouble. He got me on a no bill on the crime that I committed on my ex. And He gave my brother a no, gave my brother girlfriend a no bill. And if you know Texas is a state that like to convict and have a high conviction rate, right?
Right.
So I just been celibate ever since. And then too, I'm just trying to get out all the demons that I had from all my exes and everything because for a long time I wanted to just stab my ex, gouge out his green eyes and all that type of stuff. You can't bring all that to a new relationship. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people do nowadays. They get out of a relationship and then, they go into a new relationship with the baggage and the demons from the last relationship. So that's why I'm celibate. It's not because, some people think I can't get a man or whatever. They think of the negative when you don't have sex or you're not dating. They think the worst. No, I can date. I have plenty of, suitors that came up to me and want to be with me, right? But they not the right man. I want the right one this time.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
Respect. Okay, Joe. What about you?
Okay. So, and I want to first of all talk about what for anybody who doesn't know, I want to elaborate on something that T-Cat stated. And right now, I'm not going to deal with the trolls because you asked a serious question that is very serious for me and T-Cat. So I know you can take me off script and you can, I get it. Lionel Urban, but right now I'm just going to talk serious. I'll deal with y'all's comments later. But I want to talk on a serious note. But I want to elaborate on what T-Cat stated. She said that she prayed, she was arrested, and then she got off on a no bill. In the state of Texas, a no bill verdict is also known as not a true bill, means a grand jury has decided that there's insufficient evidence to indict a person, effectively dismissing the case and preventing a trial. So she got off on that. She prayed. She believes in her belief that God helped her and got off of it. State of Texas, that's a big deal. Especially we are talking about being of color and she's a woman. So her getting off, that told her God is doing that for her because that's in her belief. Okay. And so that's why she has gone the route she has gone. So I just want to make sure that all of you guys understand that and we're clear. So here's my deal. Honestly, a lot of you have heard my story, some of my story, maybe in bits and pieces. So I've been married and divorced twice. I've never actually stated it in one, place about that, but I have been married and divorced twice. I was married out of high school to my high school sweetheart. We didn't have any kids. And then in my 30s, I was remarried and I had my son from that marriage. I have all of my bonus sons from that marriage. So I don't have any regrets about my past. However, since and I spoke about this recently also to Lionel, I've only had 2 relationships in my life. I've had 2 relationships. When I speak on my experience, I speak from a married woman's perspective. I've never shacked up. I've never, been with anyone that I just lived with and had promiscuous, things like that, so anything that I speak on from a marriage woman's perspective. So that is what I wanted to make clear. But after my second marriage, yes, I was divorced, and I was coming out of that marriage. I had obviously never been really by myself. I think in between my marriages, I was single maybe 3 years. So I really had never really been by myself. And so after that, since I've been divorced now for 11 years and happier than ever, honestly. But when I was first divorced and being single, I did some things and met some people, and I had a really bad experience. Before that, I met someone that actually mentioned to me the celibacy. Before I met that person, I had never actually thought about being celibate. And yes, I was raised in the church. I was raised, having to do with, and they mentioned it to me biblically, for celibacy biblically, right? And so they brought up that conversation to me, and it was kind of like when they brought that conversation up to me, I started researching it. I started looking into it, and it was something that I started getting closer to my faith and reading more. and doing more, and I had to heal, right? I was healing emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so it's something that I started reading more about, doing more research about, and then I tried dating one person, and I had a couple of dates and one experience too many. And that experience I never had before in my life, but it was an experience that I woke up from and I never wanted to have again. Um, and it's one of those things when, with me, the type of person I am, once I'm done, and I cut you off at the knees. And that's what I did. And I decided that was my call, in my opinion, because everybody has their own opinion, and everybody has their own experiences, right? And you deal with your experiences the way you deal with them. But the way I dealt with it is that was my sign that, you know what you've been looking into, you need to go ahead and go that route. And that was the best for me because of what happened to me that night. And they for some reason, they didn't feel that they did anything wrong, but it was an experience that's all I needed, right? It was kind of like, and then of course, I went in and let my friends know, and they were like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you even put yourself in that situation? You don't even know the person. You go to their house and they put you in this predicament, and I'm pretty, well, I guess I'm not that strong, and they weren't even that big, right? But it was something that I'll never deal with it again, with again. And that's all I needed. So I decided that that's what I was going to do. And honestly, let me backtrack. You mentioned that you do that because, or you're not going to do anything until you get married. I'm not here saying that I want to get married. I've been working on me, right? I've been working on my financials, my everything, cleaning up my life, right? And everything I do, it's not for the sake of a man or for the sake of someone else or getting someone else's attention. I could care less if I have your attention. And that's something that I have gotten to, right? Because I didn't grow up that way because of things that I needed to heal from. But when you level up in your life and you level up yourself, you level up, and it doesn't matter where anybody else is, because I'm on a different level. So, when you talk about, women go for these trash men or whatever, if they're not on your level, then you wouldn't go for them, in my opinion, so you can't just go for someone that I'm not, or for me, hold on, for me, I'm not looking down, I'm not looking back, so I'm not looking. Let me put it that way. I hope that answers your question.
What about you, T-Cat? Are you have that same sentiment as far as you're not really looking, you're working on yourself as well? Do you have that mentality too?
Well, I'm working on myself, and then too, I just don't want to be with nobody, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays, you have to watch yourself. Nowadays, I gotten older. I had plenty of sex in my, back in the day, when, fun sex. But, men nowadays are trash. You know what I'm saying? Most of these men don't work, and I don't have time for the drama. I don't have any kids. You got men that have 4 or 5 kids and everything and stuff, 10 baby mamas. I don't have time for the damn crap, right? Urban said in one of his comments, God didn't help her. It was a state. You didn't find any evidence. Urban, they did have a lot of evidence. They had the broken baseball bat. I had that bet for a long time, man. That bet gone. Um, and he damn near died. They had to rush him into plastic surgery. You know what I'm saying? He was fucked up. And
Man,
then too, they had came into my house, crime scene, came into my house and took all kind of pictures. I had blood all over. I looked like I had actually killed somebody. I had blood all on my legs, all on my clothes. And when I came to jail, the women were so nice. The women jailers were so nice. They gave me jail clothes and everything to get out my to get out them bloody clothes. It looked like it was a horror show, for real.
oh wow,
I had blood all in my hands and nails. It took like I had to cut my nails in order for to get all the blood out.
right.
Yeah, that
So you,
that, that it
so
was a crime scene.
so so that was so that moment in time right there that made you have to change want to change your whole mindset, correct? And
Yeah,
just like
because I didn't know a man could make me that angry.
right,
I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Because he a type of man like if he don't have his way, he will call you late at night and call you ugly and fat. You ain't worth shit. And then he ruin your day. All day long. Then he would like wrestle you down and hit on you and trying to force himself on him on you and stuff. And that day that he hit me in the face like I was a man, it just clicked. You know what I'm saying? It was on like popcorn.
you
You
hit a
know,
break. That was a breaking. That was a
huh?
breaking. That was a
Yeah,
breaking point.
yeah. It was a breaking point. It was on like popcorn. So
You know what? As long as I can't. I'm sure you're. I know you're. I'm sure you're telling the truth. But the TCAT, I know, it's kind of hard to see that you can get to that point to where you know what I'm saying. That's kind of. But looks can be deceiving. You know what I'm saying?
Urban, the state, they had the evidence to convict me, right? But my ex had went up there and told the grand jury that he wasn't gonna prosecute because he knew that he was wrong, for hitting me and everything, and he hit me in front of my brother, you know, uh, and he hit on my brother girlfriend. So my brother is a man's man, and you can't be sitting up here beating on the women in the house. You know what I'm saying? Without him doing anything. So it was like a
Plus, he was in
whole,
your
yeah, he was in my house. My brother and his girlfriend just came from a party, and me and him came from a party and everything, and we was arguing on my way back home. And the argument came about, my brother was like, man, you need to go home. Let me take you home, you know. And he told me he didn't want to go home and all that type of stuff, like he owned a house.
Right.
So, you know, so he punched me in the face, you know. Punched
Man,
my brother girlfriend in the face, and my brother went from 1 to 10, you know, and the melee started. They had plenty of evidence. I had the F1 because he's my boyfriend. My brother had I think my brother had F3, and the girlfriend had F2.
gotcha. You guys don't be shy. Hit the link, fellas. And
They're gonna be shy.
what you say, sis? What you say, Joe?
They're gonna be shy.
Yeah, you'll be shy.
Or come on up.
But I thought of you two. I really did. I thought of Joe and you, Cat, because I've talked to you guys behind the scenes. We all have talked about this. All of y'all have been candid. In fact, Ro, you've talked to me and Joe and E about you being celibate and you reason why. You know what I mean? You don't engage in, and I'm gonna be graphic. You know what I mean? You don't engage. You don't engage in any kind of fun activities, whether it's alone time or anything like that. You know what I mean? You don't want to do all of that because you feel like that's just going to lead to other things, and so you cut off all types of, whether it's playtime with yourself or just just all out celibacy. You've been abstaining. You know what I'm saying? Am I correct?
Yeah. You can't even watch you can't even watch porn in Texas anymore. Like, you go on Pornhub in Texas, you have
Oh
like
yeah.
this age consent thing that come up. I was like, when the hell they start this doggone stuff? It had been so long for me to watch that. You know what I'm saying? You have to put your age.
Actually, that you are right, because you can't watch Pornhub here in Texas. It's just, you just can't. You just can't. It just has that. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you can't do drugs like you used to in Texas anymore because the fentanyl, you might kill yourself, trying to do something. You can't do anything anymore. You can't get no strange anymore because, people going, having HIV and all that type of stuff, and blue waffle. I never heard of that crap. My homegirl was telling me, "Hey, you heard of the blue waffle?" I'm thinking that she talking about some waffles at AHA. She told me, just look it up. So I looked it up. Boy, there's some toe up cat and wee. I'm telling y'all. Blue waffle.
Blue waffle. What does that do? What is?
I don't. It make it make your stuff look nasty. You don't look like no waffles.
I have to look I've never heard no blue. I'm gonna have to look that up. Blue waffle.
Wait, it makes what stuff look like waffles?
Yo, wee and your pee look like waffles. Blue waffle.
Oh, no, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
It's all kind of diseases out there. They were saying that in Houston they had like a whole bunch of diseases down there. It's not even named yet. So yeah, I'll keep my cat to myself. I sure will. I will keep my cat to myself. You can't get no strange no more.
Oh my God, y'all are crazy. But like I said, I thought of y'all too because you two are very candid, and y'all have spoken about how you guys are celibate. You guys are abstaining, and so we're E and I were talking very candidly about when she pull out the hella awkward cards, and then we got into talking about quickies and having a connection, and is your stuff shaven or unshaven? So, but one thing that stood out to me, Joe, you've told me on several occasions, on screen and off camera, behind the scenes, behind, you've always said that you always speak from a wife's perspective, because you've been a wife, you know what I'm saying? You're not speaking about someone you just randomly shacked up with or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? You're speaking from connecting with your husband, you see what I'm saying? That's a difference. So you can speak candid about why you feel the way you feel. Same thing with you, T-Cat. You've never been married, but you've gone through a lot to cause you to have the feelings that you have, which is I commend both. You guys have incredible self-control. You know what I mean? That takes a lot of wherewithal. And by the way, let me ask. Besides your higher power, you guys are relying on your higher power. You know what I'm saying? And I know you guys are going to credit that to your higher power. What else helps you guys have that mental state of abstaining and being celibate? What else helps you besides your higher power? You go, Joe.
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask you, can I go first?
Yeah.
Listening to conversations that I listen to in these chats, that helps me. So first of all, I'm not out on these streets. you wouldn't find me on the streets, first and foremost. I don't go out. I don't go to the clubs. That's what I mean by on the streets. You won't, if I'm out somewhere with my friends, you're going to know it because it's very few and far between. I'm a mother first. I'm about my family. I'm very, very, that's what I'm doing. I'm not out here trying to portray myself to a man and that's not me. I'm not trying to show somebody what I have. I'm trying to lead by example. That's who I am. I'm not talking about nobody else. Okay. So when I hear, just like E, when you guys say that E is in a bubble, and I commend her because I'm sad for myself that I'm out here at my age and single, and it scares me to possibly meet someone one day because, and I tell you all the time, men suck. I'm sorry. And then they've got these, I've got a very, very, very I have a sense of humor that is very raw. And so somebody may not understand me. And so I say it all the time. I'm very misunderstood because I'll just come, I'll just shoot at the hip. Right. But some people don't understand that. But because I'm not trying to sugarcoat stuff, I'm not, when I speak, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking off the cuff. I'm not speaking, I'm not speaking because, but everything I see out there, and when you guys have y'all's conversations and you get feedback and people just, it is something or experiences that other people in my life have. And women just dropping in at the drop of a hat, and
what do you mean dropping in? Dropping a hat?
They just drop in, and you meet them online, and you can find me because I'm very, very, I'm not hard to find. My buddy Deion Sanders says this all the time. I'm not hard to find, and I'm not hard to find either. I'm not trying to hide from nobody. So you can find me, but don't come and find me. I do pack. So, I'm not trying to, don't just come and find me. Because first of all, I'm not someone else. You ain't going to get cat just because you do come and find me. You know what I mean? But somebody else will. Hey, you come and find them, they might just take it just because it's there, right? That's not going to be me, right? But that's what this world has gotten to. And just like T-Cat was saying, you don't know what you get out there. You don't know, even if you take some kind of drugs, they could be laced. You could fall at the drop of the hat. And I'm not trying to live by fear, baby, because no, that's not me. I'm not trying to live by fear at all, but and like these guys, like Jimbo, like, man, I can get to know somebody because I'm very real, I'm very honest, I can get to know these guys and they're so genuine. But guys, y'all know, y'all cannot argue that not just anybody can step up to me, and and if you try to, I'm going to hurt you because I'm going to let you know why you can't step up to me, but so don't even try it. But that's maybe why, I don't know. Lionel told me one time, we know why you don't get nobody, trying to approach you. And maybe that's why, right? Because I am so blunt, but I don't know if I answered your question, but
yeah, you
that's
did.
why
Okay.
I'm not up.
Okay, T-Cat. So what, besides your higher power, and I'm going to salute to my bros up here. Salute to the big bro, Urban. And salute to the little bro, some more gorilla, my brothers. Salute, salute, salute. We got 2 women and 2 men. I love it. I love it. I feel like it's going to be a very fiery. but T-Cat, I want your input as I was asking y'all. Besides your higher power that you give credit to, what gives you the strength and what gives you the wherewithal and I guess the temperance and the self-control? What helps you have that self-control to keep your celibacy and to keep from being abstaining from sexual activity?
Because I did it all like Paulette. Sure did. In my, my past life, I did it all. So I only did like maybe 2 fantasies I did complete, but I did it all. So, what else can you do sexually?
I got you. So you you just being honest. Just being honest.
I had fun sexually, in the past. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't shy, anything like that. I had a great partner and my ex-fiance and everything. And we did a lot of crazy sexual stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was fun. When you have somebody that, I had a lot of, great sex partners. You know what I'm saying? So I did it all. So that will also keep me together. I seen all kind of porn. I still got my porn. Even my 70s porns when the women had a bush. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know. Y'all remember them days when the women had a bush that was popping back in the day. So, I did it all. So that's what keeps me, what's the point? I just want a good man, that I can have fun with. I don't want nothing else. I want a road to get married.
Right. I got you. All right, my brothers on the panel. What y'all got on the subject? Salute to both of y'all, by the way.
Hey, go ahead, little bro.
He got.
My bad, man. I was rushing to the house, man.
I got your text. I was trying to stay on. I was like, man.
I've been trying to get on.
I know you.
To get on.
I got your text.
I had a full day today, man, but I knew you was gonna be talking about some real stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get on this one.
Yeah, come on with it.
I want to backtrack because I know we kind of jumped ahead to a different subject.
Yeah, this fine.
But we talking about the whole Derek Chauvin thing, right? And for me, coming from a law enforcement background, speaking from that side,
and by the way, can you speak on your law enforcement? Can you speak on that?
I won't tell exactly what I do.
Okay. I know. I don't want you to give too much.
Yeah. I will say that I'm very versed in penal code, whether it be Texas law, federal law. TCAT was talking about F1s, F2s. I'm responsible for charging people with those F1s and F2s. So I kind of get it from that particular standpoint. And when it comes to law enforcement, especially being a person of color in law enforcement, you kind of understand. I'll give a different backstory, right? Because I'm also a part of an organization that mentors young men, and so from that standpoint, we have a program every single year that we do for our young men that is influential and that teaches them how to deal literally with just law enforcement as young men of color. And the fact that we still have to do that is an issue.
Yes.
The fact that is still prevalent, the fact that is still needed is an issue. The fact that, and let me tell you. I hate people that deflect, right? Because we're gonna deflect all the time. We see it in politics right now. You know, the Republicans always say, oh, well, what about Biden? Well, what about the Democrats? Well, what about it? Who's in power right now? Who holds all three branches? Right. What are they doing? Right. What are they doing right now? I don't want to hear about what in the last 4 years. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, this, and this. The Republican Party currently has all three branches.
Right.
The Democratic Party in the last 2 terms that have been Democratic have not had all 3 parties.
Correct.
So I don't want to hear about what happened in the past 4 years. What is happening now? Right. And so going back to law enforcement, we're talking about the fact that we still have to have that conversation in 2025. The civil rights movement, everybody on the call, everybody in the chat, we know when the civil rights movement was, right? The heart of the civil rights movement. Do we know? Because currently we're about 60 years past that, right?
Yep.
About 60 years. Let that sink in for a second.
Yep.
We're about 60 years past that, and we're still talking about how we as people of color should interact with law enforcement.
Correct.
And when I say deflection, I mean every time it comes up about disproportionate interaction as far as black men specifically and law enforcement, we always talk about, oh, well, it's always deflection, right? Oh, well, black on black crime is made up. I want to let y'all know that black on black crime is made up. You want to know why? When have you ever heard on Asian crime, white on white crime, Mexican on Mexican crime? That you don't hear that. Those are not terms that have been coined, because they specifically, there's a rhetoric around that is specifically to say, oh, the demonization or making a certain demographic the aggressor, right? Because if we don't do that, then we have to look at systematically what has been done to this particular demographic, right? So the fact that we have to still have those conversations now in 2025 with our youth about how to interact with law enforcement, that's ridiculous. That in itself is an issue. Now, going to that specific case, that specific incident, there's a thing in law enforcement called the force continuum. If you don't know it, look it up. Long story short, it is just what it sounds like, a force continuum. This is saying if somebody is displaying this particular action, then this is the amount of force I'm able to use as law enforcement. And that continuum proceeds as the person, whatever action that the person is displaying proceeds, right? Now, in that particular continuum, once myself as a law enforcement officer am in control of the situation, because my job is to stop the threat. Once I am in control of that situation and that person is no longer a threat, I have no reason to continue using force.
Gotcha.
So if we're talking about that specific instance, once that gentleman was on the ground in handcuffs, detained, arrested, whatever you want to call it, and he is no longer a threat to me, himself, or anybody in his immediate vicinity, I have no reason to continue force.
Yep.
Now, we can go back to, I believe you pulled up the facts of the case, right?
Yeah.
The facts is how long was his knee on that man's back, neck, whatever you want to say?
Said 9 minutes, but he actually died before the 9 minutes.
And in those 9 minutes, if we go back and watch the video, in those 9 minutes, when was he placed in handcuffs?
He was placed in handcuffs when he was in the store, if I believe, right?
So Once we're outside and I have you in handcuffs and you're on the ground, I no longer need to use force.
It's a known fact, in my opinion. Whenever he had the handcuffs on, he didn't. There was no need to put him to the ground. He's already, you know what I mean. He had a whole bunch of officers around him.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that.
Now, don't get me wrong. If we just had an altercation, we had an instance, I'm going to put you on the ground. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to forcefully put you on the ground. That means that I need you to sit on the curb, right? We're gonna sit down for a second because we obviously something escalated to where I had to interact with you in a forceful manner.
Right.
So after that, we are gonna sit down until we figure out what's going on, figure out whether you're gonna take a ride, whatever. We can sit down, that's fine. But once you start, and this is where we have to understand, and on law enforcement, this is what we have to charge ourselves with, right? I can't. T-Cat was talking about her instance earlier, right? Where, you know, these things happen. It was a sequence of events. I got emotional. I blacked out. I did this, and this. I can't use that in law enforcement, right? I can't say that, oh, this situation escalated to a certain point and I blacked out, so this is the result of me. No, that don't work. I'm supposed to have the training and the discipline to still treat you like a person.
Right.
Once I have control of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, until I have control of the situation, I can motherfuck you, you know, all that. We can exchange back and forth. We can, you know, get physical, whatever. But once that threat is no longer there to myself, you as the individual, or your immediate vicinity, I have to then switch into what's next.
Right.
So when it comes to that particular situation, no, I don't think that we should even be talking about. And this is going to, and we talked about this, bro. This is going to talking about the pardons, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the current administration said, or the head of the current administration says, oh, you know, that's hearsay, or I didn't know anything about that. But we've heard that before, right?
Right.
He didn't know about many things, or he's lied about many things,
right?
That we're talking about, and so when it comes, it's like I'm gonna pull the wool over your eyes, and then I'm gonna do something. Everybody been to a magic show?
Yep.
Watch what I'm doing here, but the real,
right.
The real shit is going on the flip side. So the media. I'm gonna put everything out in the media, and it's all fake news, and it's all this and this and this. And then on the backside, everything that I said I wasn't doing is what I'm doing. Right. DR distraction. That right. This administration has run on distraction and information overload. I want to keep bombarding you. No, a lot of if we really take a look at it, a lot of the executive orders that have been signed, he knows that shit's not gonna fly. He knows a lot of it's illegal. But guess what? If I can continue to get you to talk about this, and this, and this, and this that's coming down the line, the real stuff that I'm trying to pass, it's gonna happen in the middle of the night. You're not even gonna know it.
Gotcha. I had, man, my boy, he's spitting. What you got on it, Urban? You still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, what you got on that, man?
I mean, everything he was saying about the Derek Chauvin and all stuff, I agree with. You know, yeah, I agree with all that. Yeah, I don't have much up on that, you know, because that is something I'm, you know, I don't have the energy to talk about tonight. But that's a long story short. You know, I agree with him on all this stuff. You know, everything that happened with George Floyd and all stuff. I agree. I totally agree on that. It was unnecessary. It was unfortunate, and all the good old stuff. You know, it just is what it is. You know, so the dude, he been tried. He's been charged. It just end of story. Now it just to the point of us just learning from it and moving forward on it. You know what I'm saying? But what I have noticed is that even when situations like this happen, right, even after when you know, the person being tried and charged and going to jail and all this stuff, that sometimes it don't be good enough. You know, sometimes it be like, well, we want more. You know, we want more out of it. You know, so I just honestly believe that we have to get to the point where we have to move forward. You know, we got to progress. We can't be still caught in the same mindset where we always is. That's one of the main reasons why, you know, we don't be progressing as Black people in this country, man, because we still be stuck in the past all the time instead of moving forward. You know, it is what it is. Is there evil people out there? Absolutely it is. Is there evil people, different races out there, different ethnicity out there? Absolutely it is. It just is what it is. It's life. It's human nature, you know. But just like I said, at the same time, we got to. I'm not saying for us to not forget the past. I'm saying for us to, you know, to remember it for what it is and learn from it and move forward. That's all I'm saying. That is how I got on it.
Gotcha.
The reason that we don't move forward, though, as a community, is because we are not the community that we were in the 60s. The reason that we don't move forward is because we still have a large number of individuals in our community that don't support the movement. We have a large amount of individuals that say, oh, that's not my problem because it didn't happen to me. Or, oh, well, that's happening in impoverished communities and now I live in the suburbs. Or, you know, we like to disassociate ourselves when it's convenient. But then when something comes up that we really need to be riding for, we really need to stand behind, then it's, oh, well, I mean, the majority of them will do it, so I don't got to do it. That's the issue. When the Civil Rights Act or the Civil Rights Movement was happening, that was a community. And when I say a community, I mean almost the entire community. Now, you had different approaches to, you know, how you wanted to address it as a community, which is why we had the whole, you know, Malcolm X versus MLK thing. But those brothers were both fighting for the same outcome. Now we say, oh, well, I mean, you know, I'm a part of a different community. So, you know, let me ride over here. That's the issue.
Yeah, see, even with all that's called unnecessary aggression, because whenever a person don't necessarily do what the other person want them to do or the expectation behind it, it becomes aggression. It becomes, well, you're not for the community, or you even selling out the community because you're not doing exactly what we're doing. People want to deal with things at different levels. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they'll go out and protest about it. Some people will not go out and protest about it. Some people will go out and create laws behind it. Some people will not do that. You know what I'm saying? Some people will sit there on the sideline the whole entire time and do nothing about it at all, period. But the point that I'm making is that even that all this exists, right, we still have to come to the understanding that we have to come to the understanding that we got to understand each other, understand where we at, where everybody is at in a situation. Just let it be what it is, and also just understand the lessons behind it and move forward.
But is it is it an unnecessary aggression, or is it accountability? Because at the end of the day, you got to be responsible for you can't be a part of the problem. If you're not going to be a part of the solution, fine. Then don't contribute to the problem, right? Don't contribute. Like we talked about it. I forget whose show it was. We talk about how we, as Black people, we are the first to tear each other down. The first.
I agree.
And so instead of being a part of the problem, if you don't even have to be a part of the solution. Stop being a part of the problem. Just shut up. Don't say, you don't have to say shit. You really don't. Instead of being loud and wrong, or instead of being misinformed, or instead of being willfully ignorant, just shut up. You literally don't have to say anything.
But when you doing that, right, you're taking away people's freedom of speech. People could say whatever they want to say, though.
Let me tell you why I call bullshit on that, right? Because we say freedom of speech when it works for us. Right.
Yeah. All of us do that though.
We say
no matter the race and ethnicity.
When I tell you that First Amendment, we use that shit like the First Amendment is like the Bible. We use it when it's convenient for us. That First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of press, freedom, all of this. Mm-hmm. We use it when it's convenient for us, right? But then we'll turn around and say that those other folks shouldn't use it, or we stand against other folks that use their freedom. Somebody just said the other day that, and this comes down to the immigration thing. And I'm not talking about, because we can get into illegal versus legal immigrants, whatever. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about people that have citizenship in this country, but still have a love for the country that they came from too. We will call that, I'm not saying anybody on this panel, but I've seen people say that, oh, well, you're in America now, so why do you even have a Mexican flag? Or you're in America now, so why do you even have a Canadian? That's where they came from. Two things can be true at the same time. I can have pride in where I'm at and still have pride in where I came from as well. Mm-hmm. So when I say First Amendment, we use that shit like it's just it like I said, it's like the Bible. When it's convenient for us, because we'll from Bible thumpers, my Christians, because we love as Christians to say, oh, you're wrong for such and such and such and such. Okay, but half of us ignore the Old Testament, right? Or half of us ignore. You pick out the scripture that supports the stance that you have on something. We pick out what we support, and I'll take abortion for instance. How many people say that they are pro-life? You would say you're pro-life, right?
Yeah, I'll say that I'm pro-life, and also I'll say that I'm pro-choice as well too.
I would say the people that say they're pro-life, I say you're full of shit, because you don't give a fuck about that baby after it's born. You're pro-birth. Because what happens to that baby, and you can say, oh, well, we talk about welfare, we talk about food stamps, we talk about Head Start, we talk about all of these government assistance programs that are beneficial to that child. Right? We're not talking about the parents. I don't give a fuck about the parents. The child didn't ask to be born into the parental situation that they were born into. So we're talking about, I don't want funds or I don't want assistance for that child. You're not pro-life. You're pro-birth. You want that child to be born. You don't give a fuck about what happens to it after it's born.
So, how did you get that into being negative, though? I'm not understanding that.
How did I get what into being negative?
Did you make the distinction between pro-life and pro-birth? How did that become negative?
I'm not saying that it's negative. I'm saying that people are hypocritical, because you say that you are pro-life, but you're not. You're only pro-birth, because again, most people don't give a fuck about what happens to that child after it's born.
When you said most people, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about in general? Or are you talking about in general sense, or are you talking about a certain type of
Republicans? Most Republicans.
Are we still talking about the with demographic party. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because
Okay.
well, when we talk about pro-life, it's usually Republicans talking about, oh, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-life. Are you really? Are you really?
Okay.
Or are you pro-birth? And if you're pro-birth, I'm cool with that. But say that. Don't say you're pro-life and then really not give a fuck about you. You really don't care about what happened to this child. If you cared about what happened to this child, we wouldn't be attacking. I can't even think of what the program is called, but the program that provides meals for the students in school. Head Start, because let's be real, we do have a lot of parents that work out here and they don't have grandma and grandma to keep the kids, or they can't afford child care, and so that was allowing these kids to go to school at 3 and 4. We're talking we can go all the way up to college. The fact that we don't have the fact that we pay for college, or we tell an 18-year-old going into college, oh, hey, I'm gonna give you these loans that you know nothing about, the interest, nothing about how to pay it back, but you're gonna get this loan so you can get this education that should be free, or universal health care. The fact that we don't have universal health care, and we claim to be one of the greatest nations of the greatest country, other people have universal health care. So if you're not fighting for those things, you're not pro-life. You're pro-birth.
So I'm still confused on this. So why is this on a Democratic issue? Why are you so adamant that the Democratic Party is totally against your issues that you're talking about?
The Democratic Party or the Republican Party?
I mean, yeah, the Republican Party. Why you feel that the Republican Party is not for that at all?
Because the Republican Party preaches pro-life, but they only care about anti-abortion. That's the only part of pro-life that they care about.
From my understanding is that, when they get away with the Roe versus Wade, they put it towards the state to decide if they want to have the abortion or whatever in their state. It's people's states.
Why would you put it on the states if, as a country or as a federal government,
I wouldn't. Why not put it on the states? What I'm saying?
No. Don't deflect. I'm asking a direct question. Why would you put it on the states if, as a federal party, as a federal government, as a one-sided party, if we're talking about the specific party, why would you put it on the states if you're pro-life?
The country, the Supreme Court had put it on the states. It wasn't a Republican thing, and during that time, it was the Democrats. Was in power
before Roe versus Wade. This has not been a state issue. I mean,
my thing is,
this has not been a state issue. This has been a federal issue.
It really is a person responsibility if you want to have kids or not. If you running around here having unprotected sex and everything, and we have birth control here, we have condoms and stuff out there, and you slip up and have a child, that's your responsibility. If you want to have.
That's not what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is you can't say that from a certain standpoint that you are pro-life if you don't care about what happens to that child after birth. That's what I'm arguing.
My response on that is that it's not just a Republican Party that thinks like that. All parties actually think like that. All
parties are not trying to cut Medicare, Medicaid. All parties are not trying to cut Head Start. All parties are not trying to cut.
Because at the end of the day, all these politicians, all they're thinking about is what benefits them. Regardless of what type of laws, whether it's bipartisan or not, they think about what's beneficial to them. So therefore, both parties have the same type of mentality based on what you're saying.
That's going back to shifting that goalpost, and that's what I was talking about. I want us to stop pointing fingers and speak directly on the party that
Bro,
we
you
support.
you just blanked on a certain party. So you the
Yeah,
one who moving.
the Republican Party
Because
is,
the Republican Party is that specific party is who is trying to cut these benefits. That is literally the party that is putting this on the docket to be
when
cut.
did they start cutting benefits? They not cutting benefits. They cutting
What?
cutting the bloated
What's bloated?
government that's fucking
where are
bloated.
where the funds coming from? Tell me what they're. You tell me specifically what they have cut.
They
that
had
is
cut a
factual.
lot of this grants and stuff like that. The USDI, they cut that stuff
Grants
off.
for-
There was these non government
Grants for what?
organizations. They cut that. You know what I'm saying? But they have not
Grants
cut
for what?
Medicare. They have not cut Social
has
Security,
not?
anything like that.
Who has not? Are you talking about the Republican Party? Because that's
Yeah.
a lie. In the last 25 years, every Republican president, every Republican regime has cut Medicare and Medicaid. You can look that up. That's a fact.
And I wanted to mention, it's not all parties that are for this, because if it was all parties, then it would be a unanimous decision,
Thank you.
and there would be no nay, yay. So it's not all parties feel that way. That's BS.
No, that ain't what I'm talking about, Joe. I'm dealing with the argument of what he's talking about. He's saying that specifically that people are thinking like this within the certain type of party, but not everybody in that certain type of party feels the same exact way. That's the point that I'm making. But I say that, that's considered moving the goalposts. But therefore, you're moving the goalposts as well too. Right, by mentioning a certain type of party.
Well, my thing is
not being moved.
My thing is on the Democrats, they let over 300,000 kids, there's migrants into the country, and they cannot find them. So they not pro-life with the kids.
You just proved my point. I just said I don't want to hear from the political standpoint that you have. I don't want to hear what the Democrats are doing or what the Democrats have done, because the Republicans are in power now. What are the Republicans doing?
The Republicans in power now because for just a couple of months. So the whole 4 years, they lost 300,000 kids for whole 4 years and had not found out one of them.
We're okay. So if we're talking about the past, let's talk about what the what the current president that was in power before did. If we're talking about the past, because guess what, we were in more debt going into the Biden term than we were.
We got and definitely debt.
Let me finish. We were in more debt coming out of the Trump's first term than we were Biden passing it over to Trump this time. That's a fact. You can go Google is our friend.
Because of COVID.
No. You can't see. That's what I talk about, moving the goalposts. You can't say because of COVID, but then you. So
what did the Biden administration do to make us richer?
Again, you're moving the goalposts. I'm not asking about.
Now you moving the goalposts because you want that corpse in the doggone office.
I'm asking about the Biden administration. I'm asking about the current administration. What are they doing specifically?
They only been in power for a couple of months. What can you do in a couple of months?
You can do a shitload in a couple of months. That's why he's been signing executive orders, and that's
he
why
haven't even made it 100 days yet.
Tapped by the federal. But
Biden had 4 years. We missing 300,000 migrant kids that wasn't accompanied to the United States. But so you want to sit there and want to talk about the Republicans?
Why did Trump have
pro-life?
Have a bigger debt deficit? If we're talking about the past, why did Trump have a bigger debt deficit? Matter of fact, I don't even want to talk about that. Give me any policy, any current policy or past policy that you support from the Trump administration. Don't give me anything from the Democrats.
The migrant crisis, I like that. That he's trying to cut the bloat of the country.
What's the policy? What is the policy? You're telling me what you like. That's like saying make America great again. What policies?
Yes, make America great again.
What policies are going to make America great? Give me a policy, because you're just you can
cutting the blow of the country, because the Democrats tried to do it as well. Obama and Biden tried to do it as well, but they didn't make it. They didn't do it.
See,
there's actually films and stuff that said that Biden and Obama, they were trying to cut the government too as well.
Give me a policy.
Give you a policy.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting.
What do you mean a policy?
I'm waiting. You know, like
the policy that they trying to deport all these doggone immigrants.
What is ma'am?
Okay, the Lincoln and Raleigh policy that they put into law. I like that.
Explain it.
Explain it. A legal immigrant cannot come over here and murder and then get cut loose. They need to be deported. If you kill an American citizen, you need to, and then you illegal, you need to be deported.
You know who?
I like that policy.
You know whose policy that was?
He just made the law.
You know whose policy that
he
was?
made it law.
You know mass deportation is not new, right? You
huh?
know you know mass. Do you know that mass deportation is not new?
Obama deported 3 million illegals.
Mm-hmm. And do you know of those illegal immigrants that he deported? What was the purpose or why he was deporting them?
Why he was deporting them?
You tell me, because you're such an expert on what happened in the Obama administration.
So they don't. I voted for Obama 2 times, 2 terms.
Right, but you also said
I was a Democrat.
You said that you've also said that he didn't do anything. So tell me what was the purpose of deporting?
Deport you deport immigration. They don't have the paperwork to be here in America. It's a privilege to be here in America.
That was not his purpose.
What was his purpose then?
His purpose was to deport criminals. The mass deportation under Obama was literally combing through and seeing, and instead of saying, oh, you're brown, I'm gonna check and see if you should be deported. They were literally going through to make sure that criminals, because the current administration likes to say that all of these immigrants are rapists and criminals and all of this shit. That's literally what they were doing. They were literally going through, and the criminals that were actually committing crimes here were being deported.
Well, I think all illegals, criminals or not, if you don't have your paperwork, you need to go.
Everybody's legal on stolen land.
I think there's a viral video.
Okay, stolen land. We won this land. We had battles, we had wars, and all that type of stuff. We won this land, and some of the land we have bought. They had bought some of the land.
We won this land. You might want to research.
We had wars over the land, and we bought some of the land.
Before any war happened, how did we arrive here? How was America born before any war?
Well, you got the settlers that came over here from England and all that type of stuff.
And did what?
What, they fought the Indians?
They stole the land. This is all stolen land.
But my thing is, there's a lot of policies and everything that came about. There's laws now. We talking about now. So you saying that we supposed to be letting a whole bunch of immigrants come over here, break the system and everything. Like, I'd rather allocate some of this money that we sending to the doggone immigrants back to the like the streets and law enforcement. It's some of these states, the law enforcement is not there for the people. Like Chicago. Chicago is all messed up. New York is messed up.
What was you gonna say? Go ahead, Urban. What was you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, even though that the land was taken, a war had to commence, right? Within the war, within the war, bro. Within the war, every war that happened in this country, there's a victor who gets the spoils. That means that you won. You won the land, or wherever the case may be. So technically speaking, it had been won. Now, the other part about this whole immigrant argument is that my point is, what damn difference do it make with the Biden administration put together the immigration policy, or the Trump administration? Because at the end of the day, they put together the policy to deport these criminals. So why are we even arguing about this? That's what I'm talking about.
Because one administration was literally focused on criminals, and one is literally saying that if you look a certain demographic, no matter what, because you do know that during all of these ICE raids, we've had actual American citizens that were pulled away from their family and detained just because they fit the demographic. You do know that, right?
If they had a paperwork, they shouldn't be detained.
You can say if they have their paperwork, you can say that all day, but they have been being detained. It's documented.
But even with all that, the whole point of it is that both administrations implemented these policies to deport immigrants, period. However way they go about doing it, it really don't matter for the end resorts. As long as the end resorts is happening, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying at the beginning of this whole entire conversation with the politics and everything. At the end of the day, long as these things are commenced, it is what it is. One last point to that. One last point to that. I'll let you cook on Smoley. You was asking about what the current administration is doing right now. So, are you familiar with Simulene? Or are you familiar with the process behind that? Simulene and how that works. Simulene. Are you familiar with how Simulene works? The whole process behind it. All right. So Simulene is this. What Simulene is that they'll create a task force of a team. And this team only sole purpose is to deal with the financial part of businesses, meaning that what they're going to do, they're going to find out where all this unnecessary waste is coming from. Like, say, for example, you have a business, right, and you're losing money. You're constantly spending more than what you're getting. They would create what is known as a Simulene team to go in there and to find out where the waste is coming from, so they could allocate that waste to the proper channels. Therefore, that's currently what this administration is doing right now. They are doing what's known as a Simulene team, which is known as Doge. They're doing that Simulene team, and all they're doing is going through there and figuring out where all the waste is coming from through all these federal spending programs. Now, some programs is being cut because they're doing the investigations.
That's not true.
All right. That's currently what the administration is doing right now. But people don't understand that because they don't understand how the way business works. People want to see it by race or certain type of parties or whatever and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Instead of understanding the truth.
Well, as far as understanding the truth, we need to do research before we say what's true and what's not true. We talk about foreign aid, and we're talking about money that Doge saying that we're sending across to wherever. We do know that as far as foreign aid, it makes up less than 2% of the federal budget, right? Do we know that? Did we research that? Because Google is our friend.
Oh, are you telling me that?
Also, if we're talking,
you asking me that? Wait a minute.
We subsidize a lot of countries. We subsidize Mexico, Canada, a whole bunch of countries. It's a whole website that lets you know how much money are we sending these countries. There's a website that will let you know how much money we are sending these countries.
Right, but we do know that. Well, first of all, information is also getting scrubbed from federal websites left and right. Second of all, if we're talking about
bro, you just told people about searching on Google. What the hell?
Oh yeah.
So is Google true or what? So nothing is true on your end.
You know Google is actually a search engine, so it pulls up actual, like, it's not Google itself doesn't put out information. It literally is a search engine, so it takes you to where you can find the information. But that's neither here nor there.
Google is an AI.
If we're talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, and we're talking about a lot of these, if we're looking at the actual federal agencies, that have been targeted. Number one, most of these agencies are being targeted because they have been looking into a number of the South African prince's businesses. That's number one. Number two, if we're talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, we do know that the Department of Defense is one of the largest spending federal agencies in the U.S., right? And the Department of Defense has failed 6 audits. So if we were wanting to start with waste, fraud, and abuse, and that was literally our main goal, why would we not start with the Department of Defense? I would like an answer.
They want to get into the Department of Defense and also want to get to federal.
The question was why didn't we
veterans.
start? My question was why didn't we start with the Department of Defense?
They started to the smallest to the biggest, and sometimes it's harder to get to the Department of Defense and all that type of bullshit.
If we're talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, and our main goal is to save or cut spending, cut waste, fraud, and abuse, if that is our main goal, why would we not start with our largest ticket item that has failed 6 consecutive audits? But we didn't start there. You know what we did do with the Department of Defense? We increased their budget. Or I'm sorry, that was what the bill was. If we didn't go and look at the actual House bill that was proposed and the budget bill, did we look at that? Because we increased for DOD. We also increased the debt deficit. So if it stands as it passes, we're talking about waste, fraud, and abuse. We after this 4 years, we will actually be in more debt than we came into this term with.
I just post on the chat in the last 90 days since December 16th. Yes, before your president started. But in the last 90 days, as of December 16th, the national debt has actually increased by $1 trillion.
And that's probably be the doggone interest from the loans that we have.
Again, we spend more
in the deficit that we have. We spend more on the doggone.
We were in more debt coming out of Trump's first term. Can you explain that?
What do you mean? We in more debt after the Biden. We in more debt after Obama.
We weren't.
So yes, we were. We were.
You can
literally only president that we didn't really have a debt in is Bill Clinton.
We were not.
Did I vote for Bill? Did I start voting when Bill was there? I don't think so. I think I started voting in 2000 something. But my thing is, y'all up here trying to blame the Trump administration from all these other administrations that being in place. Yes, you are.
Not trying.
You are trying to blame one administration for all this doggone stuff that's going on into this. You blaming the abortion, the Roe versus Wade, and all that type of stuff on Trump.
I didn't say I was blaming it. I said you were hypocritical.
Huh?
I didn't say I was blaming it. I just said you were hypocritical.
Hypocritical on what?
On being pro-life versus pro-birth.
I don't really, to be honest with you, you don't know me. I don't have any kids. So my thing is, I'm going to take responsibility. I don't want kids. And if a man tell me he don't want any kids, I'm going to take the responsibility to go get on some birth control.
That had nothing to do with the party that I'm talking about. I'm talking about
the party. And everything. Everybody is responsible for themselves. It's not a party, you know what I'm saying? You need to take responsibility. If you don't want any kids or you don't care about kids or whatever, you shouldn't be having kids if you don't care about your kids.
I agree, but I'm talking about who you support.
So here's my question, and then we're 2 hours and 30 minutes into it. Here's my question to everybody. So we're talking about the debt and we're talking about decision making and so forth and so on. My question is and whenever I'm finished answer the question, whoever can go and answer it, and then we'll wrap this thing up because we all got to go to work and stuff in the morning and got things to do. But how do we fix it in y'all's in y'all's opinion? How can we fix it? If we're in debt, hold on. If we're in debt and we got all these issues, with the deficit and so forth and so on. How do we fix it? Go.
Vote in the midterms and overturn one of these branches.
So you're saying, little bro, that the midterms are very much important.
Very much so important. It's very much it is definitely important to be informed about who you're voting for. All of these senators that you do not think are upholding what you think that they should be upholding, make sure you see who's running for that seat and see if you can flip that seat. The presidential election is every 4 years, but the midterms are every 2, and the midterms are where we can flip either one of these branches so that the Republicans won't be in power of all 3. Vote in your midterms, please.
Go ahead, bro. Joe.
With that, we need to get more involved. We need to get educated on the facts, and we need to get more involved and go and vote.
Go ahead, Urban.
Oh, well, how the way we fix it is, I don't know. Hold on, I had my thought. TK, go ahead while I get my thought together. I just had it. I just lost it.
Okay. My thing is, vote, you know what I'm saying? But most of these, Democrat, whatever, Republican, they all corrupt. As you can see, if you know how much they got in their bank account, they all corrupt. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the policy or whatever. On children, if you don't want the damn kids, don't have them. Get on some birth control or be celibate like me and Joe. That's just point blank simple. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want no damn kids, or you pro-life, or whatever the case may be, if you don't want any kids, don't have them. Because most of the pro-life people that run around here talking about pro-life, they don't have any kids. But want you to have them. But no, get on your birth control, take care of yourself and your household. That's all I can say.
I'm sorry. Can I combat that? Can I combat that?
Hey, whoa! I gotta do my point real quick. There, y'all could go back because they're gonna take another 20 minutes.
Okay.
I already know y'all. All right, so I got my point now. All right, so my point is this: we as a people, period, not just a race. We need to get off this race trip. All right, we as a people, we as American people, need to stop relying on other people who believe that they're highly more educated than us to tell us how the way we should live our life. We as a people need to come together, discontinue all this Republican, Democratic Party, and all these clique parties that are existing right now, putting together these laws for us on our behalf, thinking that they're doing justice for us when they're not. Because at the end of the day, they only benefiting themselves, period. Both parties does this. All of them do the same thing, where at the end of the day, they're benefiting themselves. If we want to do something on the midterm elections, what we should do as a people, to be honest with you, is for us to literally use our power to vote as a people, not for certain type of people and a certain type of party, but us as a people come together and run this country how the way we need to run it, and start relying on these billionaires, millionaires, these people who's part of the boule. I'm just gonna keep it real. People part of the billionaire clubs. These people are part of the boule. People are part of the Black American population as well too. People are part of all these different type of cliques and sects. Right? We need to discontinue all that because obviously they believe that they got the answer for us. You know what I'm saying? And we allow them to do that every single time because I agree with y'all. We're not educated enough. We don't know the facts enough about things that are happening around us every single day. So that's what we need to do. That's how we're going to solve the problem. It's by us finally just coming together to do it. I don't know if it's going to be in our generation or the generations after that, but it do need to happen. So all this stuff can stop. Because other than that, it's going to keep recycling itself. We're going to go through 4 years, then Democrat Party going to be in. They're going to do that little thing for 4 years or 8 years, or whatever. Then this is going to be a just continuation over and over again, nonstop. So, all right, now y'all could go.
Very good. Anybody can chime in? 1, 2, 3, go.
Miss 80 has said birth control isn't always effective It's effective for me, but you just have to find a way. If you don't want to have kids or whatever stuff like that, it depends on you on your household. My household can't afford another mouth to feed. So
Oh,
what I do is, if a man don't want kids and I don't want kids, I get on birth control because it's effective for me. You know what I'm saying? And it gives me a lot of benefits like acne and keep my cycles straight. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, you just have to find a way. If you don't want no kids and you have your parents take care of your kids, that ain't right. That's not your parents' responsibility either. It's nobody else's responsibility to do. Taxpayers' responsibility is your responsibility because you laid down and had that kid,
yeah,
right?
I was gonna address that. While I do agree with you as far as it's the responsibility of the person that's having a kid, to take care of that kid, in most circumstances, because you still do have the circumstances of SA. You still do have the circumstances of, like Gisela said, you're taking the proper measures to avoid having a child, and it still happens. There are instances out there, but what I will say is, even though that is your responsibility, once it happens and you're not living up to your responsibility, that's not the child's fault. And so how are we saying that that child is supposed to be taken care of after that happens?
But
That's
my
always
thing is, you should never lay down in the first place
Agreed.
unless you was
No,
SA. Unless you was SA.
I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But being that that's not the case, and being that people are going to lay down and have kids and not be ready for kids, is that the kid's fault?
No, it's not the kid's fault. But my
Exactly.
thing is, why
So
bring them in the
how do we
world?
so how do
Why
we
bring them in the world and you don't want them?
I
Or
agree.
you gonna abuse them in the long run?
I
Why bring them in
agree.
the world?
I agree with that, but people are still going to do it. So once that happens, is that the child's fault?
It's not the child's fault. It's the responsibility of the parent because the child can't take care of themselves.
Right, but if the child cannot take care of themselves and the parents are irresponsible, then what are you saying? You're saying we should just forget about the child? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm not saying forget about the child because the child can't take care of themselves. But why keep
exactly.
on?
That is why
But solve the problem first. You know what I'm saying? If
the
you
only
don't want any kids, you don't have no desire to have kids. You're not responsible to have kids. Why sit down and have sex and do it?
I
Just be
agree.
celibate like me and Joe.
I
It's
agree. But
easy. It's easy.
the only way to solve that problem, to say from a national standpoint, the only way to solve that problem will be mass sterilization, and you can't do that. So what I'm saying is, these things are still going to happen.
That's why. That's
I
why the
understand, and I
parents
agree
should.
with you.
There should be stronger laws. If a parent have a child that if they can't take care of the child, I feel like they should be arrested and go to jail.
Okay, but that's fine. Say I agree with you on that. If they should be arrested to go to jail, still, what happens to that child?
The child gonna be in a system
What
unless
system?
they
If we're
get
defunding those systems, that's what I'm asking.
it's gonna be on the system fault, right?
If we're defunding those systems,
We
who's
not defunding those systems. Who said that we are defunding those systems? And can you send me an email and showing that we defunding the system
I
of
sure
child
can.
care and all that type of stuff?
I sure can.
You got my email.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with all this too. I haven't seen that they defunding the foster care system. So y'all got to enlighten me on that. Matter of fact,
We're not talking about foster care. We're talking about benefits for children.
It's like the foster care system.
It's not.
Yeah, because part of that, right? If the parents are irresponsible, they can't take care of the child. The very last resort that they could do is enter into the foster care program.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but that again has to be a choice. So what if they decide not to enter them into the foster care program, and they're going to keep the child? I'm talking about systems such as free lunch for that child at school. I'm talking about Head Start, which allows that child to go to school at 3 and 4. I'm talking about those particular federally funded.
They're not cutting those though. They're not cutting those.
They are.
I know they trying to abolish the Department of Education. And I feel like they need to abolish that crap because the kids are getting dumber every day.
Well, if we really want to talk about being dumber, most of the highly illiterate population are red states.
No, they Democrat states.
No. You can Google this again. They're red states.
Well, what did the Department of Education do to do that? I had met a child. He can't even read a clock with hands. These
One
kids
child
can't even write in cursive anymore.
But you can't equate one child that you just stated you met to
Right.
the 2 trillion people and children across the nation. You can't go by one child.
Statistically, red states are more illiterate and less educated. Statistically,
I'm from a red state, and I'm not illiterate. I'm not.
you're
I'm highly educated.
yeah, but that triggered.
My brother
that
is
was
highly educated.
as am I, and I'm from Texas, a red state. But what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about statistics. Statistically,
But can we
red
admit
state-
that most of these kids nowadays are not getting the education that they need today?
Agreed. America's is far behind. I think that's an issue from both sides. I think both sides are responsible for that. But what I am saying is, if we're talking about a specific party, statistically, red states are less intellectual.
So you saying Texas don't have smart people in Texas?
That's not what I'm saying. That is not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
What about
is that,
New York? New York school system is fucked up over there. And over there in Chicago, those are blue states.
Well, you can also go down to the south, like Alabama and Mississippi, which have almost the lowest literacy rate. So those are red states.
So you blaming things on the Democrat Party. The Democrats has smarter kids in their state, like California. I know people are actually moving out of California.
Blue states are statistically higher. It's literally, you can literally look it up. Blue states are higher.
Yeah, you got to send me that data through our back chat, man, through our group chat. Let me check that out.
I got you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna check that out myself.
If I didn't have my bullshit, but I definitely would have pushed about it. I was like, that's bullshit.
Nah.
but yeah, send me some of that. I'll
know.
check it out, bro. I'll check it out.
I don't speak on things I don't know.
I'm glad that we all talk to each other behind the scenes, and we all are, this is not a play. It's not a play. We all like each other in real life, but we can have some grown folks conversation. We can debate and have healthy debate and not have hard feelings after, I've seen a lot. I'm telling you, a lot of chats and stuff that are fiery like this one, but then people start getting disrespectful, and in no way, form, or fashion in the 2 hours and 44 minutes that we've been on here, we've had it's a fiery topic, but everybody, there's no hard feelings, man. And I think that's fire, man. I just think that's fire. And I'm proud of all of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say one thing? Okay, because I was thrown out there.
We're trying to end this, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, when it comes to overturning Roe versus Wade and having to do with abortion and whatever, and I know how it was stated that if you don't want to have kids, just don't open your legs, whatever. That's all good and great, but it doesn't happen that way all the time. And the fact of the matter is, I do not believe because you don't do things, I've made mistakes, and because you don't do things the right way or the wrong way, it's still not no man or woman's position to tell me what I can do with my body. And that's point blank, because things happen. And then I've said it all the time. After the fact, nobody's talking about, yes, they're over here, in front of these places and talking about, abortion and whatever, but there's nobody left when that person who didn't even want that child has that child, and that child is not taken care of and they are not wanted. And then they go into a system that you got to pay for and you got to fund. And you're talking about wanting to cut the fat and cut all this money, but you're trying to tell people that they have to put something into a system for me to pay, because I'm paying into that system, you know. But you got to fund that system that you're trying to overload. For what reason? Because you wanted to control somebody and control somebody's sex life. You know, it just, you're not giving a solution to the problem. You're just trying to tell somebody, no, you can't do this, but you're not trying to give a solution for afterwards. That is my problem. And I've always stated that, because if you're going to tell somebody they can or can't do something, then give them an opportunity and how you're going to help them afterwards. Once you gave them the force to do it, you're not helping them afterwards. And that's what I think should be the issue, to help them throughout that child's life, because it's not about those parents. It's about the child.
Here's the whole thing about that, right? I do agree with y'all that you should have a choice in the matter, but let's be honest. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Most men and women, they end up having the state and federal involved. For what reason? They have the state and federal involved due to they trying to get money out of them, which is through the Office of Attorney General, through child support or other means as well too. You know what I'm saying? So let's be transparent about that. If we are grown adults, right? We end up on land with a woman or whatever the case may be, the woman end up getting pregnant. We as both men and women, we should be two grown, capable, competent adults to make that decision without involving the state and federal. You know what I'm saying? That's where it boils down to. But we have people out there who are incompetent of doing that because they believe that the system is designed to help them in that situation instead of them dealing with it on their own. Therefore, that's where the problem is, that not with all people, but with these certain type of demographic people who utilize this system of doing this. Would y'all agree with that?
I agree with that. That's why I was taught by my dad not to depend on the system, depend on yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the system will run your household. Sometimes, you know, if you get the food stamps and all that type of stuff, you can't have a man in a household. And I feel like if you have a child with a man, the child need a balance, a man and the woman, right? You know what I'm saying? So why would I have a child out of wedlock and I don't have the husband to support the child? Because I had a wonderful dad. And some of these women are tricky and they don't want the dad and they just want child support from the man and food stamps. That's not going to help raise the child. And some of these mothers are irresponsible too. You know, if you're not ready for a child, just don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You on me, bro?
Oh, my bad. What you got to say, little bro, on
Oh no, I agree. I agree that people. I have a very radical standpoint when it comes to people that should be able to have children, but that's another conversation. But I agree that people shouldn't have kids if they're not ready for them. But as I stated before, that's not the child's fault if it ends up here to irresponsible parents.
Very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good.
Already, we had a good conversation.
Very.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate the conversation. I think conversations like this are needed because it does get us in the think tank, and it has us to research and actually go back and do our due diligence as far as who we're voting for and who we're putting in office.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. I'm proud of all of y'all, man. I feel like I really am. I'm proud of all of y'all. because I just feel like that, when we have these types of, discussions or whatever, what I mean? It just makes you, for the next time, it makes you just want to be on your P's and Q's. It makes everybody that listens to us be on their P's and Q's, and makes them want, as Joe stated, makes you just want to do your own research on everything that comes into policy or comes across this. If you see something or whatever, and you don't understand it, shows like this that go back and forth with different perspectives, it's going to make you research it. You know what I mean? And if you are a voter, it's going to make you choose accordingly to how it applies to you and yours at home. So I'm proud of all of y'all, man. I really am. So, hey, y'all, if you're listening, I want to say shout out to everybody that's listening to the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All of these content creators that are up here, subscribe to them. Thrive and Glow with Joe, T-Cat, my big bro, Urban, and my little bro, Samoa Gorilla, all have platforms. Subscribe to every last one of them. And of course, you better subscribe to SBK. If you haven't, you better, or else. Anyway, I'm going to try to go live every Sunday night around this time, 7:45. So y'all please like, share, and subscribe. If you
get them hours up.
SBK. They up. Anyways, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank all my mods. I want to thank all you haters and ghost watchers that's watching. You know what time it is. The like button is free. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you, Joe. Thank you, T-Cat. Thank you, Urban. Thank you, little bro. See y'all next time. And your boy SBK is gone.
Bye.